What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bible Fun with the Duns. Today we're studying Deuteronomy chapter 32. Let's jump right in.
Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 32 is a pretty lengthy chapter, and it's just called the Song of Moses. So I wrote in the margin of my Bible, right above where the giant number says 32 for the chapter, I put this in 3 words: learn by singing. Okay, so Jeb is actually the perfect person for us to film this video with. Okay, here's why. Because Jeb has a skill that not many people in this world have. I do not have this skill, but Jeb does. He's incredibly musical. So Jeb can sing, Jeb can dance, but most importantly, and listen, you correct me if I'm wrong, Jeb knows like almost every song ever written. And we can drive down the road and turn on the radio, and you always know at least some of the lyrics of every song. True or false? True. Okay. So here's what Moses is doing. So we know that Moses is about to die. Okay. The people that he's with, they do not have a Bible that they can hold in their hand. Now, he has written for them Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. But do they all have a copy in their own house? No, they don't even have houses. They live in tents, right? So they don't have a Bible, but what could they carry? They could carry it in their brains, and they could carry it in their hearts, and they could take it out anytime they needed to. It was a song. Okay, now, Jeb, what did you get from this?
I got how God is telling Moses to sing this song to warn them that, hey, y'all are going to do some idolatry, and I'm going to punish you to show y'all that those idols aren't real and they can't protect y'all in the real world. And yeah, which they're probably not doing any idolatry right now, or they might, but we do know that they're going to be doing some in the future.
Most of the Old Testament is the story of how these people keep going back to serving idols, and God has to keep recapturing their attention. So this song was something that they were going to teach to their kids, and their kids were going to teach to their kids, and it was supposed to be a lesson all the way through their lives. Now, here's what you got to remember. In the Bible, songs are important. I mean, the biggest book of the whole Bible is the book of what? Right. And Psalms are basically just songs. Now, we don't have the notes of all of those songs, but we do have the lyrics of those songs. And they express every range of emotion. Well, in the Bible, when people have encounters with God, they're also prone to singing songs. So Moses does that here. Hannah does that when God promises that he's going to give her a baby named Samuel. Zacharias does this when the angel tells him that his wife Elizabeth is going to have John the Baptist. Mary does this whenever she's told by Gabriel that she's going to have baby Jesus. And so this is kind of a trend throughout the Bible. Now, Moses writes this because he knew these people. He spent the last 40 years of his life leading these people through the wilderness. So he knew their temptations toward rebelling against God, lack of faith, even idols. He had already seen that. He remembered the day when he came down from the mountain carrying the 10 commandments, and he saw them worshiping. What were they worshiping? Do you remember?
Idols, the golden calf.
The golden calf. You're exactly right. So Moses is giving them a history of who they were, how God found them, how God saved them, how God delivered them, how they're eventually going to rebel, and then how God will discipline them, but also bring them home. Now, I want to connect this to something Jesus says. So in the New Testament, Jesus tells the story. It's called the parable of the sower. And in the story, it says that one time a sower went out to sow. A sower is like a farmer. And he has a bag full of seeds at his waist that he carries. And he takes these seeds and he throws these seeds out. And the seeds land on 4 different kinds of ground. Do you remember this?
It was like the good ground, the bad ground, the rough ground,
right,
and the clean ground.
Okay, so the first ground was the road, and the road was so hardened by the weather that none of the seeds could get inside. Now we know people like that. And Moses knows people like that their hearts are so hard, the things of God don't get in. They don't let the things of God in. The next were the soil that fell among rocky ground. And so the roots went down, but they didn't have anywhere to go. So they might have sprung up quickly, but they died out when when things get hot. Moses knows a lot of these people are like this. They're going to serve God as long as the blessings keep coming. But when they see somewhere else, like a false god, oh, that God might bless me in the way that I want, they'll run to him. The next one was the soil with the thorns, that it grows up, but it grows up among thorns, and the thorns wrap around and choke out the plants. Well, Moses knew these people would be like that too, because in the thorns in Jesus' parable represent the cares of this life. That they care about everything else. They care about what they wear. They care about what they eat. They care about. You okay? They care about so the cares of the world choke away their cares for God. They're too obsessed with the world and not in love enough with God. Well, then the last one is that the seeds fall on good soil. And the plants spring up and they produce a harvest of fruit like 10, 20, 30, or 100 times more than has been planted. And so they bear fruit. And Moses wants these people to be that last kind. That's what Jesus wants too. And so when we're reading through this, we're finding that someday Moses has been he's been talking to these people for 40 years. Some days he's been like talking to a brick wall. Some days, I got a little bit. Some days want a little more, but he's hoping that eventually it's going to grow into fruit for them. And if it doesn't, then they're going to be disciplined. He gives them a song so that they can sing this to each other and remind one another. Then at the end of this, God takes Moses up on a mountain and he lets him look across and to see all the promised land. He could not go there yet, but he could see it. Like us. We know there's a heaven over there. We can talk about it and think about it and be ready to be there one day. But we're not there yet. We can't go there yet. So we're not allowed to go there yet, but we're looking. You go, some people go, well, Moses never got to go in the promised land. No.
But he got to go to heaven.
He did get to go to heaven, but listen, do you remember when Jesus went up on the mountain, the Mount of Transfiguration? And his clothes turned white and he started to glow and two figures appeared before him to talk to him. One was Elijah the prophet and the other was who?
God.
No, the other was Moses.
Wait, I thought we were talking about Moses.
We are. Well, we're talking about Moses going up on the mountain, but he didn't get to go in the promised land.
Yeah.
But in Jesus' day, when Jesus went up on the mountain of Transfiguration...
I thought you were talking about the burning bush.
Oh, no. But hey, similar, right?
Yeah.
So later when Jesus goes up on Mount Transfiguration, Moses appears to Jesus. Moses got to go into the promised land finally. He didn't go here, but he was able to later. So when we're reading through this, we want to think about, Moses has warned his people, but they didn't listen. But we've got a lot of warnings from God too. Are we going to listen? That's the important thing. When God tells us, hey, be careful, don't do that. Are we going to listen or are we going to be stubborn? I think that's the key to remember here. All right. We hope you enjoyed. We're going to see you tomorrow in chapter 33 where Moses blesses the people. We'll see you then. Bye.